Welcome to Adding Years, your roadmap to longevity, a playbook for living healthier and longer. I'm Josie. Along with being a certified personal trainer and longevity enthusiast, I am also a data and AI executive with 4 master's degrees, including one in AI from Johns Hopkins. In each episode, I'll share simple technology and AI-backed strategies with practical steps that you can use to build your own longevity roadmap. I'm not a doctor or medical professional, so be sure to check with your physician before trying anything we discuss on the show. Every December, the same pattern shows up. Sleep drifts later, workouts get shorter, and plates, well, they get fuller. And by January, gym parking lots look a lot like concert venues. Everyone's chasing redemption. But quietly, something more serious is happening. Across multiple countries and decades of data, death from heart disease and circulatory problems reliably bump up around the holidays. And this isn't happening in the middle of some random March week. It's right when we're celebrating, traveling, and taking a break. So let's consider this. What if the real longevity lever isn't your fresh start in January, but rather it's how you handle the holiday season? So what if this time of year wasn't a setback, but your annual stress test? A way to see whether your routines can bend without breaking when life gets loud. Today, we're going to look at what actually happens to your heart, your nervous system, and your metabolism during the holiday season. Then we'll explore why the risk goes up, and finally, we'll cover how you can still enjoy the food, the travel, and the late nights without letting your rhythm disappear. If you mostly feel healthy, it's easy to think, okay, December is chaos, but I'll just reset in January. But the problem is, your biology doesn't reset on a calendar. It runs on rhythm. So when you stack late nights, big meals, extra alcohol, long travel days, and emotional stress, all in a few dense weeks, you're not being a little off. Instead, you're putting pressure on several systems at once. This includes your blood pressure, your blood sugar and insulin response, inflammation levels, electrical stability of your heart, and the balance of your nervous system. If you already have some known risks, like high blood pressure, elevated ApoB, diabetes, or a family history of heart disease, that cluster can be enough to tip things over. And even if you don't, this season still matters for your long-term health span. Think of December as your systems audit. It shows you how durable your habits really are. Ask yourself, do my anchors hold when the schedule disappears? Can I come back to baseline after stress? And can I enjoy the celebrations without needing a full rebuild in January? This episode is about turning the holidays from a hidden risk window into a training ground for resilience. So what's actually happening under the hood? Let's zoom in. Let's start with the pattern researchers keep seeing. When you look at large datasets across years and regions, you see a consistent holiday bump in death from heart disease and other circulatory problems between late December and early January. Some analyses highlight Christmas, the day after, and New Year's Day as particularly risky. Other registries see a clear rise during that winter holiday block. Importantly, this pattern shows up in warm climates too, which tells us it's not just cold weather, it's how we live during this time. So what's driving that bump? I broke it down into 4 main factors. First, there is circadian chaos and long stretches of sitting. Travel, late nights, and changing routines all tug on your internal clock. This is the system that coordinates hormones, blood pressure, and metabolism. For example, crossing time zones, staying up much later than usual, or sleeping in repeatedly can throw off the timing of melatonin, cortisol, and insulin. Meanwhile, long periods of sitting on flights, in cars, or at long meals slow circulation and reduce the pumping action of your leg muscles. So even if you're otherwise healthy, that mix can leave you feeling wired and tired at the same time. And if you already have cardiovascular risk, that extra strain matters more. Second, we have big, salty, rich meals plus alcohol and late eating. Holiday meals tend to be larger, higher in fat and salt, paired with more alcohol, and often eaten later than usual. In the short term, this can cause spikes in blood pressure, increased inflammation, and heavier work for heart and blood vessels. Eating big meals late at night adds another layer. Your circadian clock is nudging your pancreas and digestive system towards rest mode, while your plate is asking for overtime. And that mismatch makes blood sugar and recovery harder to manage. And let's talk about alcohol. It doesn't just help you relax. In higher doses, especially combined with poor sleep and dehydration, it can trigger arrhythmia, irregular heartbeats, in people who may not normally have them. Clinicians see this so often around holidays that there's even a nickname for it called holiday heart. Third, we alluded to it earlier, is sleep erosion and nervous system overload. Cut sleep for a few nights in a row or shift your bedtime around, and you'll often see a higher resting heart rate, lower heart rate variability, more difficulty managing blood sugar, and more irritability and fatigue. On top of that, the holidays can carry real emotional weight, like family tension, financial stress, travel hiccups, or grief. All of this pushes your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight side, to stay switched on. Blood vessels constrict, blood pressure rises, and your body behaves as if it's under sustained threat, even if you're just navigating airports and group chats. Finally, the rhythm is the unifying theme here. The common thread in all of this is rhythm. Your body is designed around predictable cycles: light and dark, activity and rest, eating and fasting. When those cycles get scrambled for weeks, your organs stop coordinating smoothly. Think of your circadian system as a conductor. Light is the baton, your organs are the orchestra. During the holidays, we keep changing the tempo, swapping songs, and tossing in new instruments with very little rehearsal. For many people, the result is just feeling off: fatigue, bloat, poor sleep, brain fog. But for some, especially with underlying risk, that same storm can cause a serious event. The good news is you don't have to opt out of the holidays to lower that risk. You just need a few simple guardrails that travel with you. I call this the 70% rhythm rule. Your mission for the holidays is not to be perfect. Your mission is to keep enough rhythm that your body recognizes itself. Here's the simplest starting playbook broken down into 4 anchors. First, maintain one wake-up time. Pick a wake-up time and keep it within about 30 minutes, no matter where you are. This is your main circadian anchor. Second, focus on protein and plants at each main meal. A protein-forward plate plus something green helps keep blood sugar steadier and cravings lower. And third, be sure to move after big meals. 10 minutes of walking or even just tidying up helps your body process that meal better. And fourth, hydrate deliberately. Have 1 glass of water before each drink with caffeine or alcohol. It's simple. It's boring, but it's incredibly protective. Here's how I actually apply those 4 steps. On travel days, I bring a water bottle and actually use it. I stand up or walk the aisle about once an hour on flights or long drives, and I do simple leg and ankle movements while sitting to keep my blood flowing. As soon as I arrive, I try to get outside for about 10 to 15 minutes of natural light. That's my way of telling my brain, this is daytime here. It makes adjusting to the new schedule faster and a little less painful. At big holiday meals, I start with the protein and vegetable dishes. I take my time with the rest, and I definitely have dessert if I really want it. But I make sure that I pick the things that I actually love. Then I get up and move a little. I clear plates, walk outside, or just admire the new view. Specifically on movement, my target is maintenance, not progress. This means a short resistance session somewhere midweek, a looser daily step floor that feels realistic, and stretching after long periods of sitting. My data usually reflects that my steps are a little lower than normal, my recovery is a little bit off, but everything stays in the range that feels sustainable because the anchors are intact. When I look at my data around this time, I look for patterns, not perfection. I asked myself, have I kept roughly most of my usual rhythms for sleep timing, movement, and basic nutrition, or have things drifted? I look for signals around my heart rate variability or my resting heart rate or my sleep patterns, and then I make an adjustment. Instead of panicking, I try to change one or two things for the coming week. It's either an earlier bedtime, one or two more nights, a bit more hydration, and swapping a hard workout for a walk, or adding one real recovery evening with no alcohol and a calmer wind down. Again, the point here is not to chase perfect numbers. It's to notice the drift early and nudge yourself back towards center gently. Let's tackle one myth that quietly creates a lot of all or nothing thinking, is that the holidays ruin everything and that you can just start over in January. The truth is, a few weeks of imperfect habits don't erase a year of work. What matters is whether you keep any rhythm at all, especially around sleep timing, movement, and basic nutrition. Your body is built to recover. One late night, one big meal, one missed workout, those are normal. The issue is when we treat December like a free-for-all and January like a punishment. Instead, reframe the holidays as a planned deload, a period where you lower intensity but keep your anchors. Walk, hydrate, protect your wake time, and keep some protein and plants on the plate. You'll start the new year a little tired maybe, but not starting from zero. So let's circle back to the three big questions. Does this actually matter for health span? Yes, because how you handle chaotic seasons like the holidays teaches your body how to ride out stress without falling apart. That's resilience, and resilience is a core ingredient of health span. Can you apply this safely and effectively? Yes. You don't need perfection or a 20-step plan. You just need anchors, a consistent wake time, regular light exposure, basic movement, hydration, and a protein-forward plate. Those travel better than any supplement. Can data personalize this for you? Yes, but only if you use them as mirrors, not judges. A quick weekly look at your patterns can help you decide when to push, when to pull back, and what small change will help most. So let me leave you with 3 simple takeaways. First, protect rhythm, not perfection. Anchors trump all or nothing thinking. Second, aim for mostly, not always. Keeping about 70% of your usual rhythm is enough to protect a lot of your physiology. And third, use data for direction, not guilt. Let trends nudge you, not shame you. Longevity isn't built in perfect months. It's built in how you treat your body when life gets loud, and you choose to stay in rhythm anyways. So enjoy your holidays and stay healthy. Thank you for spending your time with me today on Adding Years, your roadmap to longevity. If you found this episode helpful, please follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and consider leaving a review. Before we wrap up, a quick but important reminder. Adding Years is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnoses, or treatment. Always consult your physician or qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your health regimen, supplements, or exercise routine. What you hear on this show reflects personal opinions, experiences, and not medical advice. I'm Josie, and this is Adding Years. Until next time, here's to living better, longer.
And